Okay, so this problem is going to be an example of the sum or difference identity for sine. So basically it's saying the sine of two angles added together. Here's the identity on how to figure this out. So the example says, given that theta is in the third quadrant and phi, which is this symbol, phi is in the second quadrant, that the sine of theta is negative 5/13 and the tangent of phi is negative 8/15, they want you to find the sine of the sum of the angles, theta plus tangent. So the first thing that you have to do is draw these out. So I'm going to pick a different color here. We'll do purple. So if I draw out both, So let's draw these out. All right, so we'll start with theta. So theta is going to be in the third quadrant, which is this one here, down here. So the sine, I'm going to make my angle come like this. Here's going to be my theta. And the sine of theta, remember sine is so opposite over hypotenuse. So my opposite side is going to be 5 and my hypotenuse is going to be 13. And we may or may not need to find the other side of this right triangle. So if we do a quick Pythagorean theorem, we can say that 5 squared plus, we'll call this w. W squared is equal to 13 squared. 25 plus w squared is 169. W squared is 144. So w is equal to 12. So that's here. Okay, now let's draw in our phi. So let's pick a different color. How about orange? So phi is going to be in quadrant 2, which is this quadrant here. So phi. Now remember, when you draw these angles, you always want to draw them from the horizontal. So when you're making your triangles, you always want to draw them in from the horizontal this way. So here's my phi. And it says my tangent. Remember, tangent is TOA, opposite over adjacent. So my opposite side is going to be 8. And my adjacent side is going to be 15. Now don't worry that they don't match, because these are two different angles with two different sides and two different radii. So don't worry that they're not, like this purple side and this orange side are not the same. So then what we have to do is we have to find this other side right here. Let's call it C. So I'm going to do a quick Pythagorean theorem again. 8 squared plus 15 squared equals C squared. 64 plus 225 is equal to C squared. Or 289 is equal to C squared. So that means that my C value is equal to 17. Okay, so now I have two right triangles and I have all the information that I need in order to set up my equation. Since they want me to find the sine of theta plus phi, I'm going to use this equation right here, and I'm going to transform to what it says. So let's go over here. So I know that the sine of theta plus phi is going to be the sine of theta plus the cosine of phi. I'm sorry, times the cosine of phi plus the sine of phi times the cosine of theta. So what I want to do is, I remember when I learned right triangle trig, I have SOHCAHTOA. And I'm going to use my picture, so I'm going to have to kind of go back and forth. So the first thing we're doing is the sine of theta. Sine is equal to opposite over hypotenuse, so I'm going to find my theta. Sine of theta is here. Opposite is 5/12. Remember, in this third quadrant, students take calculus, so the T stands for tangent, which means the tangent is the only thing that's positive. So the sine in the third quadrant is negative. So the sine of theta is going to give me negative 5/13. The cosine of phi, if you look here, phi is the orange one. So here's my phi here. Cosine is equal to, remember, adjacent divided by hypotenuse. So I'm going to have 15/17. And in my second quadrant, my sine value is the only thing that's positive. So it's going to be a negative 15/17. And now I have to do my sine of phi. Whoops, sorry, wrong way. So if I do my sine of phi, here's my phi angle. Sine, remember, is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. And in the second quadrant, I have a positive value. So it's going to give me 8 over 17. And the cosine of theta, so I go back here. Theta is my purple guy, so I'm down here. Cosine of theta is adjacent over hypotenuse, so 12 over 13. And I know that's going to be negative. And then I'm just going to multiply this all out. I can do this literally just all on my calculator. And when I do this, I'm going to have my calculator do it all in one fell swoop. So I'm going to type it in, and I get negative 21 over 221. Let me know if you have any questions. I hope this helped out. Have a good day.